Hello and welcome back, everybody. We apologize for that short interruption, but we're done with the break and we're continuing with the WLE 10K. Three teams are left in this tournament, one of them being Bravado Gaming, and the other two are the ones we're witnessing tonight, going absolutely toe to toe here. I'm with Justin, and how are you feeling after that first map on Cafe?
I'm feeling excited, Olympus. I'm really feeling good about this matchup at the moment. These two teams just going back and forth in that game. It was all the way until those final two rounds, until round 11. Literally just going back and forth each and every round, just one for one from both teams, OG and ATK, and then ATK just stepping up there in the end, taking it to match point, and then taking that very last round on their defense. They were in, the deficit area, but just bringing it back after that and really just keeping those attackers out of that area for as long as possible and wasting their time, and then getting that final clutch. It was just on time. Their drop shot being in that 1v1 situation, he couldn't find the location of the final player. Cause was just sitting there in freezer, just not able to really find him out, and then ATK came out on top there. But now the second matchup is Clubhouse, and it is OG's pick. So hopefully for OG's sake, it is a much better match for them and a map for them, because it is their pick. Maybe they did a lot more prep on that map specifically to take ATK on it. We did see them play really well against DNMK on Clubhouse. They did bring it back there in the end from DNMK having that advantage. But now we have to see how OG will try and play against ATK on this match, or this map, sorry.
Absolutely right. That last round was a nail biter for Dr. Dropshot, as he was in a 1v3. He did get 2 kills, but he didn't have the medicine that was needed to euthanize ATK. And as it was their map pick, they won it. And now we're going over onto OG's map pick, which, if the history of these two teams tonight is anything to go by, I'm expecting OG to win this, because it's just been back and forth. We've equalized so many times on Cafe, and now I'm hoping that we equalize for the series so that we see Theme Park as our third map. We get right into the ban phase though of Clubhouse. Ace, Thatcher, gone. Nothing too out of the ordinary, though it's going to make the attacking work of OG quite difficult as they try to take CCTV. Though we were talking about this last night with Kanye, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, Justin. CCTV has kind of become a difficult site to defend, actually.
It has indeed. I did see that yesterday. I did watch the matchup, and it's the same goes for Cocktail Bar on Cafe. We saw from the previous match that it was played 6 times, and out of those 6 times, the defenders won it twice. That was 1 apiece for both teams. So same with CCTV. So at the moment, it's not looking the best for that area on the defense side, but maybe ATK come up with a different solution to that. But speaking of that, we'll have to just wait and see how they choose to defend it, as that is going to be their very first defending round. That just want to speak about that ace ban from OG, just from their side, just really cutting off their utility. Maybe it was a target ban to Sir Pancake, as he does perform really well on Clubhouse with that ace, especially on all the other maps as well. But just in general, that ace giving a lot of utility for the attackers, and then deciding, okay, no, we're going to get rid of that and ban the Cade. So now they're playing the Thermite instead, but they do still have that Maverick and Ibana to support them. But it's just still very interesting nonetheless to ban that ace. He does have good utility and a good gun, so maybe that was the case.
Yeah, it's a good ban also on that Kaid, because yesterday we saw ATK putting him to such good use, at least for 1 round on Consulate in the garage bomb site. They ran outside, reinforced the wall from outside, and then placed the Kaid charge in such a way that it could not be eliminated from the vertical. So I guess OG didn't want to have to deal with any of those antics and theatrics from ATK. Speaking of, they have double reinforced that wall that goes from the servers, or CCTVs you might call it, into Catwalk, and that's something you don't see quite often. Entirely sure where their minds at with that one. Though since, okay, to get to my point that I was trying to get to with my whole ramble, Tide is gone, so they will be playing the Bandits on AMR.
Interesting here from ATK, not defending the furthest most right wall, just not reinforcing that at all of Garage, and letting OG take that for free. So interesting from them. Obviously, they did reinforce that Garage CCTV walls completely off. So Causa will then be playing for his life in that area. He does have his utilities to support him, but at the moment he's not going to be able to escape anywhere. The only way he can escape is if he gets a pick and then tries to drop down to the bottom of Garage and maybe go into Oil Pit or run down that Garage door. But now we do see these attackers trying to gain control of this wall as the bandit trick is coming out here from AML, but he will choose now to run away as he did stop some of that utility from the attackers, but just that Maverick making works there for them, just going to Maverick trick the wall instead of trying to open it initially with that Thermite.
Yeah, speaking of the Thermite, it's Cannibal who's going to be playing him. He was playing the Ace last map, so he's still on the hard breach duty, as they are the ones who got rid of the Ace, like you said, in an attempt maybe to counter Sir Pancake. Right now, Figure has been put on such low HP, and he's the maestro. He's such a huge part of this defense, as he and Sir Pancake are the ones who have the plant denial. He's going to have to play so safe, and right now he's on the camera getting rid of drones. AML has been taken off the board. That's the first kill. Sandals on the Zofia, not Dr. Dropshot this time. Starts things off here as the pressure starts to mount for the defenders. James is here in construction. He's getting concussed and is going to need help from Sir Pancake here in cash, trying to find angles onto where these attackers are coming from. He finds one onto Sandals. That's James, equalizing things to a 4v4 as we go into the last minute of the first round.
Figure being low on HP there, but 3 of the attackers on OG side also low on HP. Kaiko still having at least 75 HP there, but the other 2 just under 50, so that's going to be very difficult for them if they want to peek into those areas. But speaking of that peeking, Ergo does peek into construction. He picks off James from those angles being put out there from ATK, so well done from him there, but Causa answers back as he picks off drop shot, and there's another pick there from Figure, low on HP, and he gets 2 for himself. That's Cannibal off of the round as well, but Kaiko answers back and he gets rid of Causa. But now he doesn't have a rotate to push into CCTV from Garage side. He'll have to try and open up that himself. He does still have that utility, but time is not in his favor. He 15 seconds left on the clock, 2 defenders left on ATK. He's just going to jump straight into his window, but that Older really going to put pressure here as it has that 81 round mag. He does get down, but now trying to go for that final pick here. He will be contested by this red rotate, and Pancake just running away, just playing time, and he picks into the holes that was put out there for him, and he gets the final pick. What a close round for ATK there, but them coming out on top in this matchup, getting that final kill and getting their first round once again in the second matchup.
You might have had me gasping there towards the end because, like Justin said, it was indeed a very close round. Coming down to a 1v1, it doesn't get any closer than that, ladies and gentlemen. And Sir Pancake, he is the man who I refer to as the clutch master for ATK at least. He plays that smoke and he plays it so beautifully, especially playing the FMG9. That's not what you see every day, because usually the SAS operators are equipped with the shotgun instead, which we'll be seeing both of them this round. Kosa has switched off onto a mute from a Jaeger. He did play that cut-off position, like you said, for his life very well. He wasted time, he got a kill, but in the end he was traded off. Kaiko was the Hibana left alive, and what a good attempt from him to bring that 1v2 back. In that situation, you have to go for the kills. When you don't have the time, you don't have the diffuser either, just try to frag out, and he did get the down onto the Maestro who was Figure, but Sir Pancake, like I said, just positioning himself so beautifully, running away from the top of Red Stairs where he for sure would have lost his life, and repositioning himself in CCTV using the rotations that had been set up by his team to such great effect. And that starts things off here for ATK. They are in the lead, 1-0 up, but like we saw last map rather, I should say, that's not to say much, because right now OG could just equalize this as easily.
Indeed, but it does look like a more of an SSG style type of roam coming out here from ATK, as they are holding all the way on the top floor. We did see them play Clubhouse yesterday against Bravado, so OG should know what's going on here. Them would have done their homework and done their research on how to attack into these areas. So we have to just see if they can really pull that off. But we do see now Dropshot trying to contest here into this construction hallway. Will he be picked off here by AML on the Valkyrie as he's swinging wide and he comes closer to the window, but he just drops the hatch. He wastes a minute and then drops, and now he's being chased by Dropshot as he also drops into bar. Sorry there for the pun there, but now AML will just regress back up top. So they're kind of playing Ringer Rosie at the moment, but Sandals gets met with Figure, and Pancake answers back as he picks off, or Sandals gets the refrag there. That's in Dirt Tunnel. Now a 4v4 situation, a minute 50 left on the clock as these two players from OG are trying to take control of this dirt area, but the other two are upstairs as Dropshot gets two for himself. That's Pancake and James off of the board. That's inside, but now it's all up to AML and Causa to regress back onto side and try and gain control of this round for their team. Minute 25 left on the clock here. Really going to be a problem for ATK. They are wasting time, but there is full side control here for OG as they are trying to attempt that plant, but Amo trying to regress as he gets picked off there by Ergo, just not getting allowed there. It's all up to Rowan Okoza in a 1v4 situation. He is getting peeked wide here by Dropshot. He does lose a lot of HP, but he comes out on top of that gun or that fight with 30 seconds left on the clock. Now it's all up to him. He does not win it out as Kaiko just swings wide onto that moto door in church and gets the final pick for his team, and will brings OG to a 1-all scoreline. Once again, it's looking like Cafe did in the previous game, just tit for tat at the moment, just going neck and neck at the moment, but we have to see if that carries on throughout the matchup or if it will go into OG or ATK's favor.
Sorry, Justin, for making you cast that entire round, but you did it beautifully. I was muted and I didn't realize it. I was going to say the problem I have with a heavy roam strategy like we saw ATK employ in that last round is that when there's so many bodies invested off of site, when the last two players you have on site itself are eliminated, like we see Dr. Dropshot do there on the Ash, it's now a retake situation. You have to fall back and collapse onto the site, and roles are switched as the defenders now have to attack the site and take it back away from the aggressors. In the end, it was a good round from OG, and like I said, they could just as well easily equalize it, and that's exactly what they have done. ATK are now already playing things quite differently than they did on Cafe. They tried bar twice in a row and failed. Here, there'll be no such thing, as CCTV is the first map site they played, as I stumbled over my words. And then they went to church, which wasn't successful. We just saw that. Now they're going to gym. And to support them here, they have brought Frost, an operator we have talked about quite a bit this weekend, enjoying a significant pick rate, especially on Clubhouse, especially on gym and bedroom.
Indeed, that Frost really just supporting these defenders on this gym and bedroom side, as they do, or defenders usually decide to rotate all the way and extend all the way to CCTV and cash and hold that red stairs area as well. And that Frost, just with that shield being in play with her and that secondary shotgun and the 3 Frostbats, really giving her a lot of utility to work with and just support on that, I guess, intel basis game, because if you know where your Frostmats are situated, if you get a kill or pick, if somebody's down, you can hear that, you know where they've been picked off, but as well, if it gets shot, then you know the areas of those attackers to try and push in. But we do see Dropshot taking CCTV aggressively as he's now trying to take control of this red cache area, as Cannibal is there to support him as well. They do have control of CCTV, so now opening that cache wall, but at the moment, it doesn't look like that Mute Jammer will support them at all, but it's all up to Causa now stuck in this corner. He's going to be flushed out by these attackers as they are trying to open up this red door or red wall as well, and he does swing wide, but he's trying to pick off Cannibal, and no, he won't be able to, as Kaiko just capitalizes on that, not looking the correct way, as Causa does get picked off now and bringing the advantage back in favor of OG in a 4 versus 5 situation.
Also, there was in what I call a predicament. He was in rather a pickle, as such a huge wall had been opened thanks to the exothermic charge of Cannibal. And really, you could say maybe he could fall back, but there really wasn't such an opportunity granted to him, as the angles from that cash, or rather from CCTV into cash, would have been too much for him. So you might as well try to go down fighting. And as I say that, AML goes down himself to an attempted peek outside from dirt. Surely they know that he is down and he is so far away from the rest of his teammates that a res will not be available to him. So Pancake, though, equalizes here as he gets a kill onto Ergo. I say equalizes with quotes because it's a 4v3. AML is not going to be picked up, not by any stretch of the imagination. Construction is where the pressure is coming from, as is top of Jacuzzi. Bodies are falling. Kaigo is the first one to start things off here in the last 30 seconds. He gets a kill and then he's immediately traded. Doctor drops shot to the kill of his own and traded as well. It's all up to Figure. He's here on the Jacuzzi wall. He finds one. Will he find the second? It's Cannibal and him on about the same amount of HP. Right now, Cannibal needs to be wary though of the frost mats because he could fall victim to one of them if he's not entirely careful. He has 9 seconds. Make that 8 as he flashes Figure and he gets the kill, securing themselves a 2-1 scoreline. Omnius Gaming are in the lead.
Good utility base there from Cannibal, just using those flashes to advantage, really just using everything in his purpose or in his arsenal to support him in that clutch. Just well done from him there to get that final pick there in that 1v1 situation. I really thought Figure had it there because he had the advantage, he had the time, he just needed to play it correctly, but Cannibal just outstyling him there with that flash grenade onto the wall, using it as a wall bounce as he was playing CSGO. This is not CSGO, but still using that utility based for his advantage. Now bringing OG to the advantage in this match. So it's a much better start, or it is actually a reoccurrence from the previous match, as OG did take advantage and they did take the very first, I would say, lead in the previous matchup. So now it's looking like it's exactly the same, but ATK are going back to that CCTV cache area, the site that we were speaking about, that we said the attackers won every single time the defenders could not win. Now it's looking like the defenders only won CCTV and cache and not the other two sites. So it's a bit of a weird situation, if I may say so. But we have to see if ATK can keep that win or if OG will change up what they did in the previous round and then try and bring it into the CCTV and cache area.
That was a good round from both teams. Figure there being the last one alive on the frost. Didn't see the traps being put into use. Did though try to clutch that round, but Cannibal with that flashbang, great heads up play from him. Puts Omnius Gaming on 2-1, and like you said, if we are going to see history repeating itself, then we expect to see ATK win the next 2 rounds, and then it's going to be whoever's game. And right now, CCTV, like you said, is the site. ATK won it. They haven't won any other, so might as well go back there. Not entirely sure what the setup looks like right now in terms of the reinforcements from CCTV going into rafters, because last time it was blocked off and Kosa had to fight for his life there. Feels that that's going to be the exact same case this time. AML on the bandit did attempt to bandit trick. Asking Maverick if he's okay. Tossed out a nitro cell. That explosion that I had was correct, but it didn't get anything except for a little bit of HP gone off of Ergo. So already a minute and something has gone, and it's a slower round compared to the others, as the setup for the attack right now focusing solely on garage and taking that CCTV wall. Eventually at some point we'll see a rotation into construction, though right now Sandal starts things off. Early man advantage for his team. AML, the bandit tricker, he's gone.
4 versus 5 situation now in favor of OG. A minute 30 left on the clock, so the time is in favor of ATK. But now this pressure coming out here from OG, trying to get rid of this control that Koza has on these rafters areas, as Pancake gets the first pick onto drop shot and Sandals gets Koza. Now there's a refrag coming out there from Figure onto Ergo. That's the Maverick off of the board. Now 3v3 situation. OG still have that advantage, as they do have more HP than Pancake, but at the moment the time is looking in favor of ATK. A minute left on the clock as Figure just answers back and picks off Sandals, and now Pancake playing close on this breach as Cannibal does open this garage area. He is getting shot down there from Pancake. He does choose to peek out as Figure gets one, but Pancake gets the refrag, and just Kaiko peeking there into construction all by himself.
Oh,
And
no.
James is sitting there close with the shotgun, getting the final pick for his team. And there we see the teabags. He's very excited about that. And well, we were speaking about the reoccurrence of events, and well, I guess it's just the caster's curse, or it is just the way that this match is going to go. So far, it does look like it is going to be tit for tat once again, just answering back every single round. But hopefully, one of the two teams can step up and bring an even bigger advantage than it is at the moment.
So that last round, what really won ATK was the aggression from Figure, because with that Alda, he didn't even need to reload, just clicking mouse 1, deleting heads from the lobby, and in the end putting his team at such an advantage that was difficult for Cannibal and the rest of OG to come back from. 2-2 again is the scoreline. We have equalized twice in Clubhouse. Add that to the 5 times we equalized on Cafe. That's a record in my books, as these are, I guess, if the scoreline is anything to go by, two of the most evenly matched teams we have ever witnessed playing in the WLE 10K. It's looking so good right now, though, if you are Omnius Gaming, because they are doing well after switching Dropshot onto that Ash and Sandals taking his spot with the Zofia. They are finding the opening kills that they need to, but just is it enough to win them the map? Because right now ATK are in the lead in this series.
Just want to speak about yesterday's game, Olympus, for that just little thing that everybody's going on about on Twitter and in game as well. Rowan, the F, whatever, I don't know how to pronounce it exactly. But if you don't know, it was yesterday's game on Clubhouse as well. And James was tricking the jacuzzi wall on Bandit, and he tried to rotate back into the rotate, but Rowan Koza had his chat open, and then he blocked James from coming back in. And then James died from the drone hole, so that was the whole thing. So that's what he typed afterwards, because he had his chat open. So that was a bit of thing. Luckily, we have not seen that now at all. So that's good. But speaking of this round, it does look like a similar hold coming out once again from ATK. They are holding somewhat of an SSG run, but they've fallen back a lot quicker this time, as Figure's now trying to contest on this main stairs. He will be contested by Dropshot, but he does decide to fall back, as now it is all up to, I believe, the Valkyrie upstairs. I'm not sure if she's rotated off just quite yet. It does look like she's still upstairs, so we have to see if she can put some more pressure on those attackers, as they are trying to push into these areas and gain control. But at the moment, the time is just getting wasted by ATK.
Not entirely sure if AML has any other teammates to support him up here, because roaming on your own is a rather difficult thing to do. Figure those starts with a kill onto the Maverick, such a long angle all the way from behind the bar in church onto those blue stairs leading into utility, and that's good for ATK as they are in the advantage right here. AML still on his solo roam. Like I said, it's a difficult thing to do. He peeks wide, takes some HP off. That's Kaiko shooting the Type 89, gets out the bearing 9. It's a ring around the Rosie here in Cash. AML still not falling back. I was thinking he would go down red stairs, but he's fighting tooth and nail to get as much of an advantage as he can. Aslar with the rest of the teammates. Dropshot gets a kill and then traded there by Figure. Kosa, huge nitro cell of his own. Right now, after all the dust has settled, the calm before the storm. It's a 2v4 and ATK is securely in the lead here.
Now the lead in favor of ATK. As you said, 30 seconds left on the clock. It is all up to Cannibal and Kaiko, the two hard breachers on the team, or two hard breachers left. They do have the diffuser, and there's the first pick, but there is a trade onto Kaiko from AML. So now it's all up to Cannibal in this 1v3 situation. There is a flank being attempted here from this main stairs. I believe it is AML trying to, or he's on top of Moto, and he's just peeking those angles, just waiting for the peek from that Thermite, and he comes out on top in that gunfight and winning out the round for his team. So now we see the lead go back in favor of ATK. So at the moment, it is looking like the previous match once again. So we have to see if OG can even it out once again. or if ATK will bring this next round as they are going to gym and bedroom. So at the moment, for them, gym and bedroom, they lost, but now they did win church and Arsenal once for them as well. So maybe the second time is the better time for them. Maybe they're just fixing the small minor issues that they had in the first 2 rounds, but at the moment it is looking very good for ATK on their defense.
That round definitely looked good for them, Justin, because they had attempted church on round number 2, but they weren't successful, mostly due to so much aggro play coming out from OG, rushing into sight. Dr. Drop shot there on the Ash, clicking heads, and then the Rome presence had to now retake, but that was not the case, as early advantages were on the side of ATK. The Rome was set up well, though AML was left on his own after Figure fell back. Still worked out for them in the end, and right now it's OG who are on the back foot in this map. They are also on the back foot in the series because ATK have one map advantage over them. They did take the dub on Cafe. It was 7-5. We'll see whether they can convert that dub on Clubhouse into Dub House, as SSG dubbed it. That's a bit too much alliteration on my part, but nonetheless, it's a close one, Justin, and I want to see what chat thinks of this game. What are your predictions, ladies and gentlemen? All of you who are watching us right now, we appreciate it. Tell us who you think is going to be taking this one. Who you think we'll be seeing tomorrow in the finals against Bravado?
Olympus, actually, we didn't even speak before the time. Obviously, we thought we spoke about who we were backing for this matchup. But who do you think is going to take Clubhouse? Obviously, now the opening pick is for OG, so maybe that might change your mind. But who do you think is going to take this matchup after what we've seen in these last 6 rounds now?
At the start, I was saying since this is OG's map pick and ATK won their map pick, I'm expecting that the trend holds and that OG win this. And yeah, that's what I think. I really think that they're going to win this. ATK is just catching them out on such spots like this one here. The impact trick on that exothermic charge in Cash means that Maestro, of course, is going to live a little bit longer. And, it's tough to say, but I think OG are standing like a good chance to win this one.
Speaking of that, Figure does answer back to what we were saying and then shuts down Sandals as he gets his very first pick in this round. And now Causa just rotating back here away from this Cash CCTV area. Both Amo and him just decide to fall back, and they're going to decide to hold control of that logistics top main area as well as that gold vault area. But now Kaiko also on this highway area on outside gym window, trying to put pressure onto these defenders, as now all three of his other teammates are in construction. So we have to see how this plays out for OG. It does look like there will be some swings coming out here from Master Bedroom. It is drop shot on that Ash. He will be contested by Pancake and that the Frost sitting in logistics. So we have to see how OG choose to take this. They do have 55 seconds left on the clock, so time is in favor of OG or ATK, sorry, at the moment. But we'll have to see how it does play out. There is a swing coming out from Pancake, and he loses the gunfight as Ergo comes out on top there. There's also some HP traded onto AMO, and Ergo's left on 1 HP now. He is still playing on this top main area, but they do have control of this gym area. Now we have to see if these defenders of ATK can put pressure on these last remaining attackers, as there's 2 picks coming out here from the Frost, and there's still a player contesting on this main stage area, and the Frost does get picked off there by drop shot. A good refrag from him there, and Kaiko getting AML. That's off. That's the Jaeger off the board. Now it's all up to this Maestro. He is going to attempt to try and deny this plant, as he is being contested, and he does win out that gunfight against the Ibana Kaiko, and he spots out the plant, and he gets off the plant, and he wins that round. Bro, Causa, what was that? He should have just taken the shot, but drop shot just jumped straight off the defuse and just hit the best shot of his life, flicking straight onto the Maestro and winning out that round for his team. Well played to OG there.
Dr. Dropshot is the man of the round, as he just walked in with that R4C, finding heads where he needed to. The most important one being the Frost inside the bathroom, as Figure had gone huge on that double kill. But most importantly of all, getting off of that diffuser at literally the last second, the clock had hit 0, 0, 0. And in that situation, as the planter, you surely should keep on planting because getting off is a guaranteed loss. But Dr. Dropshot has something to say about that, wins the fight surprisingly, like you said, against the Alda, of course, who was in logistics. He had the chance to go massive as he took out the Hibano of Kaiko. I really thought he was going to fall back onto his Maestro Cam and stop the plant and deny the plant that way, but I guess Dr. Dropshot was in such a position where his Maestro Cam could not get to him. He decided to go for the fight, but he was just, I guess, sprinting at the wrong time, couldn't ADS in time, and that's another equalizer, ladies and gentlemen. If we could have asked for a more closer match, I don't know what it could have looked like.
Just the irony of this matchup is that it is the lower bracket finals, the very last attempt for the teams to try and get that second spot in the grand finals, and there's a spawn pick from Dropshot picking off Koza, and Koza asking there for the time, as he does believe it was an early spawn peak coming out there. But we'll just have to see what the time allocations are. Actually, it does look like it will be given to Dropshot, so a bit of fairness coming out there. But needless to say, he does get the opening pick for his team and brings them to the advantage in their very first defending round. So at the moment, looking much better for OG, obviously coming from that previous round Dropshot, just feeling on fire now after that clutch, just getting that opening pick, and now it's all up to OG to keep that advantage for them, or ATK to bring it back if they want to get their first attacking round.
Dr. Dropshot does want to keep that adrenaline flowing, and right now it's just a trade, a flurry of kills coming out as Sandals gets one and then he's immediately felled. So for Figure and Kosa, Sandals is gone, and that trade right now is in the favor of Omnius Gaming. Speaking about the time allocations, I'm not actually entirely sure how what the rules are for spawn picking. If you don't mind confirming that to me, Justin.
I believe it's 3 seconds. Yeah, the observer just confirmed with us that it is 3 seconds, 2 to 3 seconds. It looks like it was given, but there's two picks coming out there from ATK. That's Kaiko off of the board. Pancake playing there on that thermite. He doesn't have ace for this game, but now we do see some re-aggression coming here from Cannibal onto this main stairs. It's Ergo and him all in this round in a 2 versus 3 situation. Minute 15 left on the clock. So ATK can still do this, and well, OG can still waste some time and just hold those angles. But as the moment goes on, there is players contesting the players of OG, as now AML is here on main stairs. There are two players in kitchen on that hatch trying to wait for a safe drop, but these two players just playing it patiently. Yeah, and there's Cannibal losing the gunfight, getting picked off there by AML, winning out that gunfight. There is a drop and the player does get picked off. That's James off of the round, but now 1 versus 2 situation. The plant is being attempted. It's 2 downs for Ergo. He is left in a 1 versus 1 situation. He'll just fall back, but now Pancake deciding to push him, pushing with his pistol and not able to find the final kill. He had the time. He should have just sat back and reloaded his main primary weapon and then pushed in to get that kill. I believe his teammates were rushing him, saying you don't have time or something, but Ergo just getting 2 downs and getting that final pick, just clutching out that round. I believe it's all because of Dropshot's clutch on that last second diffuser. It's just fired OG up at the moment, and you can see how well they are playing at the moment. They won their very first defending round, and now they do have the advantage in this match to take it to that very end if they want to stick in this match and take it to time 3. Map 3, sorry.
Those last 2 rounds that have gone in the favor of OG, I'm gonna say they have won rounds that they shouldn't have, because round number 6, it was won on literally 0-0-0, and on that last previous one, Ergo, oh my goodness, the clutch plays from the man, getting 2 downs there and then somehow winning the gunfight against that thermite. My word. I feel like I agree with you, Justin. He should have taken his time to reload his main weapon and maybe even plant, because he had 39 seconds. It was a 1v1. He knew that Ergo, as the Aruni, was in charge, so he had more than enough time. And his 2 down teammates would have been giving him enough information So that's something that they're going to have to address in this 1 minute tactical break that I believe both teams have called for.
I
As
believe
we go into round number 8, Justin, how are you feeling? I said that Omnis Gaming are looking good to win Clubhouse. I'm going to stand by my word.
that was really, really well done there from Ergo. At the moment, it's looking like in favor of OG. They've had two near to the end clutches from their players, a 1 versus 3 and a 1v1 situation on the last second on that last attacking round from Dropshot. And now Ergo 1v3ing that previous round, getting 2 downs and getting that final pick. I do agree with you. I believe I did say that Pancake could have maybe played a bit safer. He did have 35 seconds. He could have maybe just uh, refreshed what he needed to do. Maybe just faked out that plant a bit, reload his main weapon, and then try and take the gun or the gunfight. He did have the advantage. His gun was a lot stronger. He had HP. Maybe he got the call that listen, the player is very weak. Just peek him with your fist or something. But I believe that was just a bit of a throwaway there from ATK. They did have the advantage there in the end, and then losing 2 players, and then in that 1v1 situation, it could have been a much better game for them at the moment. But it just needed to be played a bit safer. We just needed to relax and regain their composition and just try and work things out. They had the time to do it, but unfortunately, well done there from OG to take advantage of that and bring themselves to the map advantage, or not map advantage, sorry, match advantage.
That was great play from Ergo. They're just dancing absolutely around box 3 to find the heads that he needed to with that weapon on the Aruni. I believe it's called the Roni. And my, was a great round for OG and not such a good one for ATK as they took that break. Like you said, take some time to regain composure. And now as we go into round number 8, ATK are the ones bringing the attack. They have brought the Ash, was opened up some angles here from below in stock. Push out the anchors of OG. Dr. Dropshot and Kaigo are the ones who will be challenging those vertical angles if they choose to do so. Though right now he looks like he's going to be rotating with his teammate Cannibal as well, more into this master bedroom side of the map. My question going into this is where the attack for ATK is going to come from. It has become meta to expect a split push, some presence in construction, and then of course the main wall. That is yet to be seen, as there are 4 bodies for ATK on that main CCTV wall, and Dr. Dropshot is allowed to run rampantly free up the main stairs, far away from Kosa, who is playing in Strip Club, back into the safety of sight. Sandals starts things off here on round number 8. It's a 5v4 as AML falls.
Now a 5 versus 4, minute 20 left on the clock, so ATK's attack looking very slow at the moment as Ergo does get another pick. That's Pancake off of the board, a 3 versus 5 situation with minute 10, and Kaiko just still tricking that wall. He does put up a bandit charge back on that wall, and now James is going to have to be very safe. He wants to try and Maverick trick that. There is still a player contesting him as well. That is Dropshot prone on the floor, trying to peek an angle into that main breach, but Sandals answers as well as he picks off Causa. That's the buck off of the round. Now in a 2 versus 5 situation, there's still a chance for ATK to try and bring this back, as Figure does get 1, but there is still a 4 versus 2 advantage in favor of OG. 3 of the players are low on HP except for Cannibal. He still does have above 80 HP, but now it's all up to these last 2 remaining players to contest into these areas that OG currently are just playing passively and just waiting the time out and waiting for the attackers to push into their areas.
It's a 2v4, and this nade from James could go huge here, but it's eaten up by the ADS, so Ergo will survive to live another day. Getting dire for ATK as they do not have the time, neither do they have the diffuser. What they do have, though, is one man in Figure as he drops Kaiko. He's in a 1v3, 3 seconds left on the clock. He's peeking through this main wall, absorbing so much damage, and on the clock, once again, OG take the victory. A good round from them, getting such early engagements, putting themselves at such an early advantage, especially after AML fell. It was all downhill from there for ATK, and it's a 5-3 scoreline. Omnius Gaming securely in the lead. They are setting the tempo for this match. It's no longer an equalizer fest. ATK need to bring 2 rounds in a row if they want to turn things back to how they were on Cafe.
Indeed, but looking really good for OG at the moment. I believe those two clutches really just fired them up because at the moment they don't want to stop. Their train is just heading straight to the end of this game and they want to get it over with. They want to take it to match 3 so that they can be in that even scoreline with ATK, and then just Theme Park at the moment could be anybody's game. OG really looking strong, but for ATK, it's just looks like they a bit, I guess, disheartened from those previous clutches. Maybe their mindset just took a little bit of a dip from those two clutches coming out from OG, but hopefully they can fix that and just bring it back. They just need to play a bit more structured. It does look like they're very loose at the moment, like they don't know exactly what their plan is, like they don't know what they need to do exactly. So they need to fix those small minor issues and maybe just fix their time delay if they want to try and keep it. But this mirror being played here from OG, very interesting pick for them. It does look like they're going to try and set up in this cache area, but that mirror won't be able to be used into that cache area from those two walls. The observers just showing there that it is reinforced from the outside, but the mirror window will be used in bathroom. It does look like it.
Yeah, a very interesting setup from OG. Not bringing a Frost this time, as many teams have been bringing on the defense in Gym, but instead opting for a Mirror, Goyo, Ella, Mute, and Jaeger. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Right now, AML instantly answers back to the kill that was Figure, but been taken down by Sandals, and it's a 4v4. Again, equal is the name of the game here, as so much early aggression. Barely 1 minute has gone by, and bodies are falling already. It's tough to say who is in the favor here because OG have such a strong setup in the utility and in the operator selection. But at the same time, Ergo, whoa, what a kill. I was going to say they have the advantage ATK of pressuring out the setup from OG. Ergo just rotates out of bathroom after soaking up such damage from the breaching round. Decides to use his mirror window on a soft wall, but he is thinking rather how he's going to do that. He's uncertain. AML, he's downed again by another Vector. This time it's one from Kaiko. He's downstairs where no one expects him to be if you're the attackers. So much action, and it's ATK, 2 bodies against the 3 of Omnius Gaming as Kaiko finally meets his end. He has been downed and the information is on him. There we go. So Pancake finally finishes things off. And Ergo is on such low HP, it might as well be a 2v2.
Won't count Ergo out though, because that Vector, that high fire rate, he does have the vertical holes to try and support him, and he's just playing safely in that bathroom area as Koza on the Rebana is trying to flush him out. He does not know the full location of that, but he's trying to get rid of that mirror window, trying to open up the floor from below. Just looks like they're stalling a bit at the moment. He does eventually pick off that black mirror and get control of it. He will now try and rotate to this main wall side to try and put pressure on that, because that mirror is no longer stopping them. But Ergo now choosing to play safely here in bedroom. He is low on HP, so one bullet or 2 will do the job to take him out, but it's all up to the last 2 hard breaches of ATK to try and take control. Then they are being contested here as Pancake is trying to open this wall, but there's no way for him to open it. They will have to use those Ibana pellets, as they have tried to open it on bathroom wall, but they will decide to rotate. 10 seconds left on the clock. At the moment it's looking very dire for them, as they are just going to push into gym window. They do rush, and that's Ergo off of the board, but a 2v2 situation. Cannibal now swings wide and he picks off one, and it's all up to Pancake in a 1 versus 2 situation, and he gets swung. He tries to go for the plant, but Cannibal just on his bedroom door. He couldn't peek 2 angles at the same time, and Cannibal swinging wide with that shotgun, just annihilating him there in the end, just getting an easy pick for him and bringing OG to match point. Really just well done from them to come all the way from Cafe and having such a close game right at the beginning of this matchup, to now clutching 2 rounds and then bringing it, just firing themselves up all the way to match point. Looking at the moment like it's going to go to map 3.
The OG train is firing on all cylinders, as now they have such a significant lead against ATK. 6-3, it's match point for Omnius Gaming. And like I was saying, the setup that they had on Gym just proved superior. We saw them choose not to reinforce that jacuzzi wall, but instead open a hole right across it, which made it such that you could not place an exothermic charge there. We did see them try to do that. But the attackers, the two of them that were left, were not able to, as they just had little time and they had such little, I guess, utility to work with. They didn't have the angles, they didn't have the map control, they didn't have the bodies either. So things were not looking really good for ATK, and they don't look good for them right now, as this could be where Omnius Gaming makes a stand. They have put their foot down and said that Clubhouse is our terrain and we're going to take you on it. You thought that Cafe was where things are at, but ATK, this is how we do it, says OG. We might as well be going over to Theme Park as our third map.
Indeed, OG really doing well, really playing well on Clubhouse. I believe Clubhouse is one of their strongest maps, coming out from both the DNMK matchup and their previous matchup against with Ronshock White, where they did perform on Clubhouse really well. And for ATK, they haven't had the best experiences with Clubhouse from their previous matchups. So at the moment, it's looking very dire for them, like it will go in favor of OG. Obviously, it is in favor of OG at the moment, but going to that very end, it's going to be a big struggle for ATK to bring it back 3 rounds in a row when their attacks at the moment haven't been doing the best. They have not won a single attacking round. So if they want to bring it all the way to overtime, they have to now win 3 consecutive attacking rounds in a row, which at the moment is looking like it is not going to, well, it's looking like it's going to be very difficult for them.
Definitely, the pressure is getting to ATK as things get heated up here on Clubhouse. Omnis Gaming could end this right here, right now, though, like you said, ATK could string 3 rounds in a row and then take it to overtime and prevent any dreams from OG coming into fruition. Though right now, Sandals sends Figure into the Shadow Realm with such a beautiful headshot before Sapancake all the way from that is able to down him. And since he's so far away from sight on such a solo roam, he's gone, and Kaiko is as well on this rotate. AML is well positioned there, and things are looking good for ATK. They've gotten so angry, they've gotten so pissed at how things are going now. Dr. Dropshot, oh, he's in a position we saw yesterday, and he decides to fall back after taking some damage from that exothermic charge. He's on about 50 HP. That a risky play does not play out for him, as AML is there to catch him on his way back to site.
It's all up to Ergo and now Cannibal, as that kill, that down on Sandals does get confirmed now, as he did bleed out. But now Ergo trying to regress on these main stairs. Hopefully, for ATK's sake, it's not a reoccurrence of previous events. And there we go. It won't be, as James picks off Ergo. And now it's all up to Cannibal with that UMP in a 1 versus 4 situation. He is getting flashed out. He is fully blind at the moment. Now trying to peek into the angles. He does not know which one to peek first. He is just having a whiff battle with those 2 pistols from the FBI operators. Just AML coming out and they're whiffing his shots and then trying to pull out the pistol, and both of them just really trying to figure out who will win it. And for ATK's sake, AML did come out on top in that gunfight, and well, ATK now bring themselves to 1 step closer to maybe taking it to overtime. They do still have to win 2 more rounds in a row, but it is a good start to that attempt to take it all the way to overtime.
The comeback potential for ATK definitely showing itself in Figure and in AML, as they had such a huge round, that one, where they got the kills that they needed to. In the end, it was a bit messy, a bit of a potato fest there, with AML pulling out his pistol, like you said, which is kind of a repeat of one of the rounds we saw actually on Cafe. There was a bit of a potato fest, and the pistol had to be pulled out by Figure when he was on the back. Nonetheless, it's good news for ATK, as they're 2 rounds away now, not 3, from equalizing it here on Clubhouse. And if we just take a look at that last round, compare it to all the others that ATK have failed to win on their attacks, what would you say, Justin, they have been doing differently?
I believe their coordination and their communication was just a lot better in that round. So they took advantage of that aggressiveness coming out from OG. They prepared for it and they didn't allow it to sneak through from OG's side. They didn't allow any easy picks from the previous round, as the previous church defense that OG had, where there was a spawn peak and then in that 1v3 situation. So they did have the advantage on Church and Arsenal from the very beginning. It's just they threw it a bit away in the first time that they attacked it. But now that previous round, it looked like they just kept their composure. They just waited it out and they used that coordination from the 4 versus 2 situation to take advantage of that deficit from OG and really just played it perfectly and then winning it out. So for them, that was a really good adaptation. Now, obviously, having to do it once again, there is a Frost in play now, so they have to watch out for that. But they are trying to take it differently. They're trying to now take the top floor control, not just getting rid of the defenders as they did last time. So hopefully, this will be a better attack for them once again, because they do have to clutch this one out. And that's a late reinforcement coming out from Dirt. I'm not sure who allowed that, but that wall was not reinforced. And then Kaiko and Dropshot just supporting each other and reinforcing that. Now it will get open in the end from Pancake, but still just allowing that was not the best from ATK there. But they will get both walls open once again. But Cause are losing quite a lot of HP there. I believe it was from a C4 from below. No, it's not actually. He was just getting peeked from that vertical angles from the defenders.
A curious choice for Pancake to use both of his exothermic charges on the dart wall, but that means that it's wide and open. Not so can be said for the kitchen hatch, as Cannibal makes expert play with that impact, gets those Hibana pellets, but Kosa still has a few more to work with here, and after that Hibana rework, he's able to choose just as many as he needs to get that hatch open. The attack is well underway here for ATK, but it meets its first resistance in that Arunigate on the kitchen hatch. Kaiko and Sandals on the roam as well will be a thorn in the side for ATK. AML, though, in dirt, he takes Dr. Dropshot down, and he is down as well on such low HP, as is Kosa. Going to the last minute of the round, with Sandals, like I said, the man who's on the roam could be a pain for them. He's peeking here from bar, and he's not able to find one. He tries to wallbang into kitchen there, but decides against it and rotates all the way back to utility stairs. Finds his safety in sight, as now that's where he needs to be. We go into the execute phase. There are 40 seconds left. The HP advantage securely in the hands of OG. OG continue that as AML is eliminated from the board through the gun of Kaiko, excuse me. Stumbling on my words here, I'm sure you can feel the pressure as are these players on the attack. More of them continue to fall. Cannibal, he finds the headshot and he's being put under so much pressure on here, box 3. He's being supported by Ergo though. Figure here in that tunnel, he's trying to find something to make this execute go underway. 10 seconds, Justin, take it away.
Now the two players, the Sandals and Ergo onto back, they get 2 of those picks and it's all up to James in a 1 versus 3 situation. He does get one for himself, but Cannibal coming up on top there, getting the final pick for his team. Just using that, the T-type, or that, whoa, T5 SMG from Legion, just to tear apart those attackers. They're stumbling on my words a bit, but well done from OG. We did see them try and bring it back from the very beginning. It was very close at the beginning of the game, and then there's 2 clutches coming out there from OG which shouldn't have happened. I think that was the building point for their success in this matchup. Just from that point, they were all fired up and they just wanted to take it to the very end to try and bring it to match 3, which I believe is a well-deserved victory from their side in this match too. It was their map pick, so they did really well to secure it. But now Theme Park gonna be a very interesting matchup, as both, well, we have seen OG play on Theme Park and they have done pretty well. DNMK played against them on that matchup. They did come out on top from a very good clutch from their side, but OG did have that advantage, so they know what they're doing. I have not seen ATK play much on Theme Park, but we have to see if they are still in this game to win it to the very end, as they do need to now step up in this last final matchup.
7-5 was the scoreline on Cafe, and then 7-4 is the scoreline on Clubhouse. We will be going to a short break, but don't go anywhere, because in this best of 3, we are 1 apiece, and Theme Park will be the decider.
You're the night sky trying to make me see your stars, but the dark gets so lonely. Now I see violet, I can feel silence. In the dark's all that I see. When your stars have burnt out and your heart makes no sound, I'll find violet in your eyes. You'll always be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky. You're the night sky hiding behind dark gray clouds. I can't figure you out now. I see all blue. There is so much cold in you, and the silence is so loud when you go. I just stay dancing with my shadow all day. Watch the tide. I can't find the point where our two paths align. But you're the night.
And we're back to the ATK versus OG matchup. This is a best of 3 situation where now it's one apiece for both teams. ATK won the very first map, which was Cafe, in a 7-5 scoreline for them, and now the second map just going in favor of OG, and they won that one out 7-4. That was on Clubhouse. So these two teams just fighting it out now. If you don't know what's at stake, it is 10,000 Rand. We do have one position remaining in that grand final spot. It is versus Bravado tomorrow at 5 p.m. That's when the grand finals will be played. These two teams trying to see who will get that spot in that grand finals tomorrow. Both teams really want it. They are fighting to the very end, not allowing it to be just a 2-0. It will go to that third map, and we thought it was going to go to overtime in the previous matchup, but that is not the case, as OG just coming out on top in that one and really now making works of this game. And now we have to see who will come out on top in this next match, which is Theme Park. Joined with me is Olympus. If you guys are only tuning in now, this is map 3, so we'll have to see how this goes now. Okay, so we do have a little bit of an issue with that spawn peak that happened in one of the rounds from Dropshot, so we now have to wait and see what will be the outcome of that, because it will be the deciding factor in the match who takes it and who doesn't, because that round was really where everything just started to get a bit in favor of OG. So now we have to see what will go in that. So we will be back. Sorry for being on and off constantly, but we do have to now take a short break just to sort out that small issue. We will be back shortly.
gravity, it keeps bringing me down. I can't breathe and I don't wanna die. Can we stop this gravity? 'Cause I don't wanna say goodbye. Gravity.
up with a slow motion crew, and we up in our clouds when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Cause you got me holding. And I'll be running, possessed by a low, low voodoo. Fired up like a wolf on a full moon. And we're stuck in a la la land. The tides will turn without us. And I'll be killing time like I might be a cartoon. Take it in real life like haiku. I know we got the good vibes when pieces fall right into place. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Cause you got me holding, play me like a bass guitar, simmer down and mess me up, tripping like I'm Jimmy at Woodstock. Drive me around in your red Ford, shivers down my spinal cord. Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the hold up. We just had a small minor issue with just a query about a spawn peak from the previous matchup on Clubhouse. It was one of the rounds where it was stated that it was just underneath 3 seconds, but the verdict in the end is that it will not be backtracked to the previous matchup. We will go to map 3, where both these teams, ATK versus OG, now have to battle it out in the final match, which is Theme Park. We're taking it to the very end to try and see who will come back and who will go to the grand finals tomorrow to face off against Bravado. Will it be ATK in their revenge story, or will OG be the better version or better team in this matchup versus ATK and take it to, well, go and face against Bravado in the grand finals tomorrow? Joined with me is Olympus, and yeah, we'll take this one to the very end.
We're hoping for map number 3, and we have got it, ladies and gentlemen. We have a matchup on our hands here, as it is the last one in a best of 3. Like you said, Justin, we've had highs, we've had lows, we've had highlights, and we've had one hell of a story for these two teams. They did meet earlier on in the upper brackets, where ATK were the ones who won against OG. So OG are positively determined to get a revenge story of their own against the Giants of SA. The Giants themselves, they have a lot riding on their shoulders, as they were beaten last night by Bravado. So they are hoping that they will get a second chance to meet them tomorrow. And these two teams are showing us that they are as motivated as ever to win, as they did take us from Cafe in Russia to Clubhouse in Germany, and now we're going to theme park in Hong Kong. It's a world tour, and we're one apiece. Yet to see who is the better of these two teams, as they have been so evenly matched out tonight. And we're going right into it after the ban phase. What do you make of it, Justin?
So the ban phase was very similar to the previous match on Clubhouse, Thatcher, Ace and Cade. The clash obviously being a different ban. I believe it was from ATK. They have done research from the last time that OG did play on Theme Park, where they played against, I believe it was DNMK, where they roam upstairs on their defense with that clash and really put a lot of pressure. So ATK doing their research there, and that Cade and Ace once again being banned out. I believe it is just to either counter ban, because he is such a powerful operator at the moment. That AK-12 and his utility, and also smokes in his arsenal, just really support him as an operator, and you can really just do so much with him. So OG deciding to take him out once again is very interesting nonetheless, but it is a good pick for them, because now they have to rely on taking the Thermite, which they don't mind playing, but for ATK they also have to take the Thermite now. So maybe it is OG trying to get in ATK's head a bit, as they are on defense, so they are more likely to succeed in this matchup, as as Theme Park is more defender sided. But for Armory and Throne, it does look like every single map we play on has, well, the main primary bomb site that everybody goes to always ends up being in the attacker side than on the defender side. We have to see how it plays out for these two teams, who will come out on top from the very beginning.
We can see AML setting up a preemptive C4 on the roof, or rather the ceiling in the maintenance room. Just some drone work coming out from OG, spotting out that roaming Melusi of Figure, who's right now playing solo. The focus of this bomb site will be getting into maintenance and then opening that wall into the throne room and armory bomb site, which is where ATK have decided to start. Dr. Dropshot here, if he's careful, he might just be able to pick off Figure, who for now surely is alerted to his presence as the gunshots have gone out. He's doing double duty here, droning and trying to get the kill for himself. Maybe if he could get some live droning support from his teammates, that could make a difference, as the first couple of seconds have gone off. AML blows that nitro but doesn't catch anyone. He was expecting someone to have dropped down the hatch. There's no one there just yet. He does snag a drone, as he is Mozzie, one of his best, being put to really good use. And right now Corsa is being tracked by that Jackal, the Inox, showing itself a very powerful counter roaming utility piece for the attackers. Right now it's just kind of slow, as both teams are trying to figure out how best to adapt to each other right here, right now.
Figure now being contested here by Dr. Dropshot in this bathroom area, as Figure is stuck now. Angles will be held, but he does look the opposite way as AML picks off Cannibal, but Figure has downed Dropshot, and now that is a 5 versus 4 situation, as Dropshot will be picked up by Sandals. So well done there to pick up his teammate, but now we do see somebody still trying to contest at the top of these yellow stairs. It is Causa playing in this area, but Kaiko will contest him very shortly, and now Impact Tricks trying to come out here from Sir Pancake onto this maintenance wall. He does do it successfully, and Causa adds onto the board as well. That's the ash off of the board. Kaiko goes down, and now a 4 versus 4 situation. A minute left on the clock. There's still 2 roamers on the side of ATK. One has decided to fall back, but Rowan Causa, my bad, sorry, he will still be able to put some pressure on that roam if he does choose to make a flank.
Such low HP on both sides. Figure, Pancake and Corsa, on the side of ATK are low. James is the only full HP defender. Argo is the only full HP attacker. They are going toe to toe here as they try to find angles into sight. 30 seconds are left, and they surely should come and execute right now. Ergo Peaks cannot click off the head of Figure. Oh, he takes a lot of damage, as does Sandals here. It's absolute chaos. Sir Pancake gets Sandals, who had got Figure. James adds into the fray as Cannibal is eliminated. 15 seconds are left. It's a 2v3, or it could be a 2v2. Yet to see here, as the diffuser has been dropped. It is then recovered. Dr. Dropshot and Ergon, such low HP, but they're getting kills here as they're being dropped left, right, and center. Ergo is the last one alive. He is in 1v2. He's in a plant situation, but he's not able to get the diffuser all the way through. James is there to click his head off, and they start things off yet again very comfortably, being in the lead. But as we have seen, throughout the night. It's not enough to be in the lead. You have to convert that into a win. And if history is anything to go by, OG are going to take the next couple of rounds away from ATK.
Indeed, it does look like it might be that scenario, but hopefully for either team, it won't be so close like the previous matchups. Maybe somebody just steps out and takes the advantage up from the very beginning and has a really good lead and keeps it that way. At the moment, it does look like ATK have stepped into that position, but if we see from the previous matchups, both Cafe and Clubhouse, ATK got the very first round on each and every single map, and then OG answered back by getting 2 more rounds, and then ATK answered back by getting another round, and then having it even to the split. And then from there, ATK took the first match, and then OG took the second match. So for here, I don't know who's going to take it. So far, obviously, it being defender sided, so ATK is in that advantage for this match, but OG can still bring it back. We don't count out any team, especially on the very final match for this matchup. And with the standings being so high, teams are really going to give it their all to take it to the very last moment to try and see who will become victorious.
We're yet to see who will be taking it against Bravado tomorrow, and right now you can be sure Bravado are watching these two teams with great interest. AML again starting things off there, and he seems so happy, ecstatic as to have gotten a kill, which can be considered a reverse or a revenge to the spawn pick that came out on Clubhouse on one of the rounds. You can see them having a bit of banter in the chat saying that was more than 2 seconds for sure. And we apologize to all of you for all the delays and all the interruptions and everything that we have had tonight. But nonetheless, we are here and we are going on. And we say thank you so much for staying with us and for watching as these two teams battle it out, trading blows, none being better than the other just yet. We can't call it as the scoreline has been so evenly matched the entire night. And like you said, we hope that one of these teams is able to run away with the advantage, because right now, after playing for so long, and especially Omnius Gaming had been playing earlier in the day, the pressure will start to get to them, the fatigue will start to work away at their mental fortitude, and we all know this game is as much mental as it is physical.
Indeed it is. I also just want to remind everybody that there is still a chance to enter into the giveaway, as Hemal interrupts me there as he gets such a nice shot onto Kaiko. That's the ash of the board. He's just terrorizing these attackers at the moment. Ergo is down there from James, and the C4 comes swinging out. It will not connect onto anybody or do any damage, but Dross shot just peeking the wrong way as Hemal does get the pick onto him. Now it's all up to Cannibal in a 1 versus 5 situation. He does get a pick for himself, but a Nitro Cell contesting him as well. It will take 25 HP off of him, but he still has to peek into 4 lines of sight from these defenders. Minute left on the clock. He does still have time, but it's going to be very difficult. He does still have 2 drones and some utility, but look at these 2 players just playing patiently in this initiation area and control room, just waiting the time, waiting to get the double peaks onto this angle. At the moment, Cannibal just waiting for them to peek into his angle, as at the moment it's looking unlikely that he will clutch this. We do see somebody trying to jiggle peek there, and I believe it is, I'm not actually sure who it is, but just trying to make something of this round. It is Pancake there on the Echo, just trying to put some pressure there, as Cannibal now still once again trying to peek into those angles, and he won't be able to do it as Figure peeks into his angle and then picks off Cannibal in that round and brings ATK to a 2-0 advantage at the moment. So a lot different scoreline from the previous matchups, but we'll have to see if OG can bring it back from here on out.
That was a good round from ATK. That was an especially good round for AML, as he was giving Dr. Dropshot a taste of his own medicine, as many of his kills were finding him prone on the floor, threading the needle and just absolutely bullying and manhandling the attackers there as they tried to take initiation away. It was not successful there. Those last few moments for Cannibal at least gave his team to have a pseudo tactical break where they could discuss what is going wrong on their attacks and how they can adapt to this new and this refurbished and refreshed ATK that we see after that little break we had there. they have won 2 rounds on defense already. That's a break in the trend, like you said. And now they're going to bank daycare. So this could be where OG starts to sweat a little bit.
Indeed, it will be actually, to be fair, because at the moment, if you just came from the previous matchup, obviously you had the mental advantage over ATK. You being OG, you had that advantage. You just won that match in 7-4, and obviously everybody had an issue with this particular spawn peak from the previous match in the previous round. So just from that, you already had the mental advantage on ATK because you were in their heads. You knew, okay, they were anxious and complaining about a spawn peak or trying to see if they could get advantage of it because they believe it was unfair, which in the end it was to a certain extent. We did have a reading about it and it came out in favor that it was deemed legal, not illegal. So for them, it's an advantage to them. But same for ATK, now just coming back from their mental breakdown, if I can call it that, and just refreshing and just coming into this matchup and not really looking back to that previous one, and now just doing this. It's really looking better for them, but there we do see Cannibal answer back as he picks off AML. They're playing on the alibi, so good opening pick for them, and now we do see OG trying to bring it back onto their attacks.
Yeah, it was so good for Omnius Gaming to win that last map, not going down 2-0 in this best of 3 series. And it was also really good for them winning 2 rounds on the back of clutch potential from people such as Kaiko, people such as Ergo. They really cemented themselves well there in that mental game, like you said. And now it's looking even better for them as AML is the first one to fall. He's got, I don't know how I would call it except to say the duality of man. AML either gets a kill as the first one, as the opener, or he's the first one to die. So if you're a fan of the Dark Knight series, I guess you could say you die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Not too sure whether that reference hits home, but Figure's shots do hit Ergo's head, and it's a 4v4. So much time has gone by as we are left with a minute and 16, which is an odd thing to say because so much of the South African meta, as we have seen this weekend, has been aggression coming out so early on. And right now, kind of slowed down a little bit.
They are very slowing down at the moment as there is still a minute left on the clock. It has been traded back, so a 4v4 situation currently, and these attackers just trying to take control of this daycare area. They do have lines of sight into this daycare wall from yellow, and we do see Sandals now trying to contest into bunk as well, but he will just run straight in and he gets picked off by Figure there on the Malusi as he swings wide and he gets a second for himself. That's a triple kill for him in the round, and Koza gets one for him as well. Now it's all up to Dropshot in a 1 versus 4 situation. 25 seconds left on the clock. He has to do it all. At the moment, HP is not in his favor, nor is player count. So him just trying to bait out this player here, just waiting for him to peek into this area. He doesn't have diffuser, so at the moment it is looking like it is in favor of ATK. We'll have to see if he can really try and bring this back. Dropshot still not able to do anything. He's just basically baiting at the moment, waiting for these players to peek into his line of sight, as we do see Figure trying to contest them there from Cafeteria and not able to do anything of it as the time runs out, and Dropshot is unfortunately not able to clutch that round as ATK bring it to a 3-0 advantage, going a full site rotation for them in this matchup so far, really looking much better for them.
A good round for ATK, good rounds for them as, like you said, 3-0 up is the scoreline. So that trend of trading back and forth has been absolutely broken. As we come back to you here, ladies and gentlemen, you'll be watching our faces for the next minute as it is a tactical pause that has been called out by OG. And I would say that this is about a good a time as any to call for a tactical pause before it's a bit too late. 3-0 up is about the time you want to start asking yourself, what has happened in that time that we have been on break? Why are ATK so solid on their defenses? Why are we finding ourselves in clutch situations so many of the times? And that's the question that Omnius Gaming need to find the answer to.
Indeed, Olympus. But if you look over those last few rounds, it looked like ATK really did know what they were doing in their defense. They just held those areas, wasted time, and then just getting the picks and just not allowing the attackers of OG to really push into sight at all. We did see a very close rounds in the end, but then later on it just was more and more in favor of ATK. At the moment, it does look like OG already struggling on their attacks. They're struggling to find their footing as to where they want to push into and where they want to take control. They get the opening pick that previous round, and then they just lose it. Then they waste time. They start just really believe not being able to push into those areas. They just went into a stagnant hold where they were wasting time, not really taking opportunities of those areas to try and make a push into sight. And that was their problem in the end, because them not being able to coordinate properly and really just push into those areas, being held out by that defense is not what you want if you're on the attacking side. You want to really put pressure on them to try and push it out. And I didn't see much adaptation from OG at all. There was no presence from that cafeteria area or no presence from that break room area to put pressure on the players playing in that bunk and cafeteria area. So at the moment, it looks like OG just need to adapt a bit more onto how on how ATK are defending this. Then we'll see a much better game coming out from them.
Much as we are talking about how OG have been struggling a little bit, we have to mention that ATK have been playing this defense is absolutely rock solid. The setups are so airtight, their frag game and their refrag game as well has been spectacular, has been immaculate to say the very least. And they're right now securely in the lead as they have 3 rounds to the 0 that OG have. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that, of course, Theme Park is a defender-sided map, but at the same time, in such maps, you expect the attackers to walk away from the first half with maybe 1 or 2 rounds in the notch. So hopefully these next two play out in the favor of Omnius Gaming if you're a fan of OG. And if you're a fan of ATK, you're hoping that they just continue to take this all the way to the end and win it in quick fashion.
I really hope for OG's sake that it is not a reoccurrence of events that happened in the semi-finals where OG played against ATK, where it was OG won the first match, ATK won the second match, and then ATK came out and 7-0'd OG on Villa in that matchup. For OG's sake, I really do not hope it is that case, because at the moment it is looking like it with the scoreline from ATK. So hopefully they can change up something in this round and really bring it back to try and even it out, because at the moment it is looking very dire for them. This is their last and final chance to bring it back so that they can go to the grand finals tomorrow to face off against Bravado. But for ATK at the moment, it is looking very good from their side to try and bring it out and just win this out for themselves. As we do see now the impact tricking coming once again, and there's a C4 coming out from Figure onto Ergo. That's the sledge off of the board, so no more nades and more a hammer or sledge breach hammer from him. And now we do see a swing from James coming out from that maintenance wall, and Causa just contesting here up above, and AMR as well going to peek. They're going to pinch this last final player here sitting at the top of Dragon, as there it is, 2 picks coming out as Pancake heads onto the board as well. Now all up to Cannibal and Kaiko, the Ash and the Thermite, as no, it's all up to Ash now in a 1 versus 4 situation as AMR picks off Cannibal, but there's a refrag from Kaiko now in a 1 versus 4 situation. A minute still left on the clock. He does do some damage to Pancake, but now he's being heavily contested by these players, as we do see Malusi here playing in this Dragon area, going to try and contest him.
Kaiko definitely has the time, he has the weapon to do it, but James is there to find his head, and he says good night in the chat as Kaiko is sent slipping with the fishes, at least for now. ATK, they are not deterred by that tactical break. They're keeping the gas pumping and the momentum is continuing as the adrenaline flows through their bodies. You can see how excited they are playing, how energetic they are as they're just getting the kills early on. They are setting the tempo of this matchup. They are the ones in the driver's seat, as so much of the way this map is going is being dictated by how ATK chooses to play it. That last round, they were just in good positions, and the coordination from Kosa and AML on that top of Dragon Stairs to get that player was just a thing of beauty to have witnessed. ATK are playing so well on their defenses. In fact, When I describe ATK's attacks as being clinical, that's how they play, but now they're showing us that they are just as clean on the defenses. So as you go into round number 5, OG starting to get a little bit into the danger zone. If I were a fan for OG, I would be shaking in my boots right now, as 4 rounds is a bit of a tough hill to climb.
It is indeed, but I so hope that I have not jinxed this matchup with the cast of the curse. OG can still bring it back. They still do have a chance. They just need to focus up and they need to really play together. At the moment, ATK are playing together. They're really coordinating and communicating properly. But at the moment, it's not looking like that from OG's side. They really are struggling to find those opening picks. They do find it and then they can't keep it going. They're just getting pressured off by this aggressive roam coming out from ATK. So I believe if OG can step up their aggression, we know them as an aggressive team. They're just not using it at the moment. It does look like their mentality is a bit damaged from these last 4 rounds, but hopefully for their sake they can bring it back, because I know how difficult it is to bring back a map when you are 4-0 down. Your mentality is really struggling, but hopefully for OG's side they can do this. I believe they can do it, and for ATK they are just hungry at the moment. They want to go back to that grand finals. They want to face off against Bravado again, and then we'll see maybe a better story than we saw last night.
We'll hope that Justin hasn't cast this, and instead they have been blessed by the gods of Siege, one of them being Lord Tachanka himself. Omnius Gaming are setting up this attack here outside of Cash. They are taking a lot of damage though. Cannibal has been put on literally 1 HP. Sandals is able to shoot out that little bit of utility there, which should enable him to get this shield if he's not beheaded himself. Shield falls at the top of Dragon Stairs, as does the defender who was playing behind it. Looks like AML is on a bit of a roam here, and oh, the Frostmat almost got him as he was stunned by the Ella, but no, Kosa is there. He has the shotgun, and then drop shot drops. Figure, my goodness, I cannot speak. There's so much excitement in the air as bodies are just falling left, right, and center. I cannot string sentences as English has become a hard thing. It's a hard thing for Omnius Gaming to win this round. Cannibal is on 1 HP, and he has Dr. Dropshot and Ergo to help him against Pancake and James, who are holding fast onto these power positions as they are the defenders who are left with a minute. They are sitting pretty, though OG are standing a good chance to win this. Dr. Dropshot finds Pancake. Cannibal is on the ground, so it's a 2v1. Dropshot and Ergo versus James. Can he find them? He is all over the place over here in the showers. He's being jackal tracked, he's being red pinged, he's peeking, trying to find one, but he has the diffuser, and that's the advantage. Though he's being flashed out of that position, absolutely blinded, and Ergo finishes him off, following it with a teabag, feeling so good after that one, getting themselves around on the board, and even the Nomad charge, the air jab, sealing the fate of that poor bandit. It was a quick round, but it was a round for OG in the end.
Well, now we do see a much different game. It is only 1 round, but this is a start to a new OG. If they do take the default 4-2 split on their attacks, they can still bring it back on their defense, and that same goes for ATK. If ATK, however, take it 5-1, it is going to be very difficult for OG to bring it back on their defense, but we have seen it done before. The DNMK versus OG game plays a perfect role in that situation, where it was a 5-1 lead for OG, and then DNMK came back all the way to take it to overtime and then ended up winning that match. So at the moment, it is looking like good hopes for both teams that we can see it go all the way to the final round of this matchup to decide who will play against Bravado in the grand finals tomorrow. It is at 5 p.m, so you guys don't want to miss that matchup today, but you also don't want to miss this one. You want to stay until the very end to see who will face out tomorrow. This is a banger of a match so far. ATK obviously being in the advantage areas. I just lost my words there, but now OG do have a proper stepping into this round, as they have just won their very first round.
Justin, it seems like tonight has been a challenging one for us as we're both tripping over our words here.
Indeed.
But we will try to bring you the action as it happens live. And again, we would say thank you so much for watching, as this has been one of the longer casts we've had to do. And that's just because of how well matched these two teams are, taking it all the way from Cafe, then to Clubhouse. And now here we find ourselves on Theme Park, and it's 4-1 in favor of ATK. I just want to look at the chat here, and Jason, the coach and player for DNMK, is saying how Impact really isn't a defender-sided map because the scoreline usually tends to be 5-1 or 3-3, and he says he hasn't seen a 4-2 split in a while. Well, neither have I, and that's because this map just doesn't get enough play for me to get a feel of how the meta has shifted on it in recent times. We usually see the likes of Cafe, Clubhouse, Consulate, and more of Villa, I would say, than this map.
Indeed, and obviously, I believe this is the second time Theme Park is being played in this tournament. I'm not sure if it has been played a third time. I don't know the stats exactly, but both times that it's been played have both been with OG playing. So that's an interesting fact for you guys if you want to know that. But at the moment, it is looking much better for OG, as we did say, as now Sandals gets the very first pick, but Koza answers back, and that's the Jackal off of the board, trying to clear out those roamers from below, but he gets picked off by the roamers, so just coming back, in fact, the tracker gets tracked by the trackie. So now we do see a bit of predicament for OG, as they are all four stacked up in this cafeteria arcade area, so they do need to try and make a bit of a rotate if they want to try and put some pressure from a different location, because at the moment, if one of those players decide to drop off below, that will be one of the best C4 kills of their life, because it would just put so much pressure on OG that is already being put. And there we do see Kaiko looking the wrong direction as Koza picks him up, but Sandals gets one for himself, and that's AMO for the board. There we go, the alibi off, and now we do see a 3 versus 3. OG really trying to bring this back, trying to keep it in here, but Koza just decides that he's going to fall back all the way to drag inside to try and support his team from this waiting double door area.
The C4 that you're saying could go huge is still in play, but it is on site. And as we go into the execute phase here, 40 seconds are left. Kosa is on the yellow corridor trying to find in on who's peeking from those yellow stairs or from cafeteria, as OG now will be setting themselves up to push into site. That's the second gas canister. It's gone. Still one left in the hand of Sapankik, though he has been dropped. Sandals is there to find him, and then he finishes him off. Finally, in a quad kill, he could go for the ace here. Sandals eliminates the entirety of ATK on such a deep push into the site itself, coming out behind Kosa himself. And a nice shot coming out in chat there. What a huge play for the man on the Ash. He's had such an influential round, and that brings us to a 4-2 split for OG.
Can I just say that I'm completely speechless out of that round from Sandals acing, because we saw him get the first two initial picks, and then he got a third, but then bring it to a quad and then an ace to finish it off, to bring his team back into the game. It's just looking like OG have now found the bit of footing that they needed, the lack of footing that they had, and now really trying to bring something back in this match, as they did take a 4-2 split. So hey, we haven't seen a 4-2 split before, but now we do see it. So this is going to be a very interesting one, as now OG going to their defense side, they do have now the advantage on their side once again, and obviously mentally they also have the advantage from winning that previous round. But I believe ATK, their attack now has to be perfect if they want to keep the advantage in their areas, or if OG want to bring the advantage to their side one step closer to taking it to an even scoreline. They really do have to now step up on their defense and play in just a perfect manner that we can see that they really want to, they really do want to try and bring this game back and take it to, go to the grand finals tomorrow.
ATK have their feet on the necks of Omnius Gaming, but Omnius Gaming won't just lie down and take it. They will go down fighting, as that last round has shown us, and that's quite an interesting camera spot for Valkyrie, because it sees at least a little bit of the rappel, but not more much than that, as we can't see AML who is here placing down a Claymore, but I believe the sound is enough for that Valkyrie on Sandals to know exactly what's going on the southern and southeastern side of the map. And I want to talk about how on Clubhouse, the clutches that came from OG on round number 6 and then number 7, Ergo and Kaiko doing so well for their team, they are kind of what give them the momentum to go on and win that map. So if they are still, pumping the gas, the adrenaline is flowing them after Sandals going huge on that last round, it could spell danger for ATK, as the momentum from such a huge ace could be the deciding factor that just pushes Omnius Gaming into the next 2 rounds. But of course, as I say that, the caster cards comes into play as favors now are in the hands of ATK, working their way slowly from cash closer to the bomb site. Though Dr. Dropshot has something to say about it here at the top of Yellow Stairs, does some damage, but then he falls back as he's taken more damage than he has done. And that's quite a fair decision to make, as he completely rotates off of that and decides he has had enough of whatever ATK are bringing.
Now the Jaeger and the Valkyrie, the last two remaining roamers upstairs. Yeah, there's only one player on site. That is the Maestro of Ergo, as Dropshot is playing here in this Gong area. But now that Jaeger gonna be able to put pressure. Same with that Valkyrie if he does choose to push up while this vertical control. Will he be able to spot him out? And he does spot him out. He does get the down there, but there is a down traded from Pancake. That's Dropshot off of the board, and Sandals does finish off Figure there with his Nitro Cell, now bringing it to a 3 versus 4 situation. 50 seconds left on the clock. In favor of OG, obviously man count is in favor of ATK, but the HP from just these players on OG really going to be able to support them, as now they are just wasting the time as well. ATK trying to get control of that maintenance wall, as Ergo now getting flashed and naded, just not being able to, but he still does have impact to one loss impact to try and impact trick that. He does able to get some extra Kairos there, but there will just be some more put up by Pancake, as Koza is now put on 1 HP. He's being contested here by Kaiko upstairs, the Jaeger, as he does choose to rotate all the way into Bunk. 15 seconds left on the clock. He's still contesting upstairs. These last two remaining players on site are just going to hold these angles, wait for this push in. We have to see a push coming out here from ATK if we want to see them try and take this round. We do see a rotate there, and Ergo gets the first pick, and there's a refrag from Pancake, and AML drops somewhere. He does get one, and Sandals does pick him off. He is down, but the plant is being tempted by Pancake. He does eventually get the plant down. It's a 2v1 situation. He's being contested here by James, and James does get down from Sandals, as now there's a peek from Pancake, and he gets the pick onto Sandals and brings ATK to a 5-2 advantage, winning out their very first attacking round on this match. Theme Park just looking like a very, very exciting matchup to watch, and we'll have to see who will take it from here.
Well, that is the question on everybody's minds, as we're still not yet entirely sure who will be facing against Bravado tomorrow in the grand finals. Right now, that's up in the air. And if you can take a look back at that last round, Sandals, he was the last man left alive in that clutch situation. He had such a huge round in the round previous to that one. He got the ace there, and he did have such a good attempt as he was knocking people down, but at that point, they were the wrong ones to be killing, as the plant successfully went down and it was start padding at that point. Though a good attempt from him and a good attempt from Omnius Gaming to hold on to Armory, especially on Ergo, the Maestro, who tried the best he could to impact trick that wall. He pushed away eventually, and 8K were able to storm into sight. Right now, OG will be reattempting to hold on to that bomb site with more or less the exact same operator lineup, except this time Dr. Dropshot will be playing the Vigil. The side of 80K, though, they are keeping things pretty steady, as they're not switching up the operator lineup whatsoever. And I guess for the first time tonight, we'll be seeing Kosa on his main. He is playing Nomad.
Indeed, people do say that his main is Nomad because he does have the most stats on Nomad. It does show stats wise, and we obviously know him as playing that flank denial operator constantly. If Nomad is banned, he does hop onto that gridlock, so we do know him as that. But now, for the likes of OG, they do have the Vigil instead. So this is a good adaptation from them instead of Malusi. So they really going to put pressure on these attackers of ATK, just not allowing them to feel well, I guess, at peace when they're droning, because that Vigil scanner of his really just putting a lot of pressure on the droning work and not getting a clear point of view where he is playing, and that can be a very detriment to the attackers if it is played correctly, if it is taken advantage from the defenders. But needless to say, for now, nothing will go on, as there's still 2 minutes left on the clock and nobody is really, well, contesting anything.
Yeah, that is absolutely a great evaluation from you, Justin. The great adaptation from Dr. Dropshot and from OG to get a vigil on. And like you said, it's such a pain to be an attacker and you just know there's a vigil somewhere. You can see him on his scanner, but you don't know exactly where he is. And I feel like that's the same kind of mental game that Cav brings. Because whenever I'm attacking and I know there's a Cav, on my mind I'm just thinking, oh my, I hope I don't get interrogated. And then it just means you have to spend so much time droning almost every single room you're going into, which is a bit of an impossible task given how large maps such as theme park are. And by the way, theme park used to be such a larger map, especially with those trains. That used to be Carv's playground, just dodging in between cars, in and out with her pistol. And back then, it was still very, very powerful. It had 99 damage on the attackers, but it did receive a bit of a rework, and it's a bit in a better place now. It's not too oppressive. Right now, the oppression, though, should be coming out from ATK as time pressure will start to mount for them. 45 seconds are left, and despite the lack of audio, we will be bringing you the action as it happens. It starts off with Figure eliminating Kaiko, and that's looking good for the execute phase for ATK. But Dropshot immediately refrags it onto Sir Pancake. 30 seconds are left, and the walls are not opened, and the diffuser is nowhere close to being planted. Cannibal is such deep roaming, and this wall has not been opened properly. It's going to be such a challenge for ATK to get through it, as they're going to have to brute force their way. The Maverick Torch coming out, Dropshot dropping Figure, Costa answering with one onto Cannibal, and then Dropshot finds another before he's finally eliminated by Nomad. Ergo and Sandwich there to finish things off for Omnius Gaming. So now they have yet another round on the board. The scoreline is 5-3.
Indeed, what a round from OG, bringing that back. Obviously, we've seen them struggle a bit on this matchup, but that was a much better defending round from them. They went to Omrin Throne as their very first defending round, and then they lost it, and now really good adaptation from them, bringing out that Vigil, and we do see that Vigil going to be played once again from drop shot, really just making works of that operator. It's just him putting so much pressure on this attacker's droning capacity, because at the moment that Mozzie, Mute, and Vigil for this round, it's going to put so much pressure on those attackers, because just not allowing safe free droning from their side is really going to put a lot of pressure on them. It does look like we have a bit of issue with a sound bug in the game, so that's a bit unfortunate. So we will be getting a rehost. Me and Olympus will just keep you guys entertained for this little pride. And we'll just keep it going as we will just wait and just talk about that previous match and analyze on how, in which favor it can go from here on out. Olympus, what are your thoughts about that previous matchup that we've seen?
Okay, so theme park has been a deviation from the trends of the last maps that we have seen. It was always ATK take the first round, and then Omnius Gaming equalize, and then they go and take another round, scoreline 2-1 in the favor of Omnius, and then it's just equalizer battle, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That has not been the case on theme park. ATK started their defenses so beautifully. They were on such an enormous 4-0 advantage before Omnius were able to put even a single round on the board. Of course, that was largely due to the ace from Sandoz. Good work on him to find all the 5 players of ATK. And then they got the round after that, building off of that momentum before ATK broke it with 1 round. And now it went back to OG. So it's just, again, back and forth, back and forth. And really, I'm going to say it again, it's really anyone's game. We can't call it just yet.
Indeed, I agree with you completely because it is a different, well, course of events from the previous 2 matchups. It was first, like you said, back and forth, and then it became somebody's game from there. But now in this one, it was ATK's game from the very beginning, and then OG answered back. They finally found their footing, answered back, and now ATK answered a bit, and now we do see that bit of one-on-one once again. So if we do see OG once again bring another round, then maybe we see a one-on-one. But for OG's sake, they do need to try and take these next 2 rounds to equalize it now. Otherwise, if they allow ATK to go to map point and match point this next round, if they win, it is going to be very dire for them to pull back from it, because if you see, you're on the opposite team is on match point, if you make one wrong mistake, then it is over. So at the moment, OG need to really just try and pull this back if they want to keep themselves. And for ATK's sake, I hope that they can just carry on their momentum after obviously OG bringing their momentum back. For both teams at the moment, it is very just neck and neck. Both of you guys want to see who will go to the grand finals. And well, it's well deserved for whichever team does eventually go there, but we will have to wait and see for who wins out this matchup. So you guys need to stay tuned for that, as we will be getting back into the game shortly, just waiting for the players to join the lobby. And yeah, Olympus. Obviously, speaking aside from the game, who, like, predictions wise, after, I believe, for the grand finals, what are your thoughts for the grand finals for tomorrow? What do you expect, and what do you want to see happen tomorrow in the grand finals?
Oh, in light of this night's matches and in light of all the other matches that we've had this weekend, I'm going to say that it's going to be close, and no matter which way it swings, it's going to be a well-deserved victory for whoever walks out on top. Of course, Bravado, having beaten ATK yesterday in the upper bracket finals, they will be going in with a map advantage. Now that it's a best of 5, the grand finals, Bravado are already coming in as the team that they will be facing off of. We yet to find out just tonight. It's either OG or ATK. They'll be coming in at a handicap. So that team is going to be fighting for its absolute life like we have never seen, excuse me. So it's going to be a banger. It's going to be a nail biter of a match, and I could not be more excited to see whoever takes it, either OG or ATK. The scores in this best of 3 are still 1-1. ATK took it on Cafe, Omnius Gaming took it on Clubhouse, and who's gonna take it on Theme Park as we get right back into it? We are yet to see. As the match history tells us, ATK are still in the advantage, though not by much, as Omnius Gaming have stringed 3 rounds in a row, and their defense is not as similar to ATK's, though still quite potent.
Indeed, it is quite different from their side. We do see a different lineup from previously on their defense. We did have to have a rehost from the previous round. We had audio bug, so just to save all of your guys' ears, we don't want to have that playing in the background constantly. But now getting back into this matchup, OG, hopefully both teams actually use this time to just reset their mentality. OG trying to keep their mentality up, and for ATK trying to bring it back after losing that previous round to try and maybe clutch this one out. But at the moment, I just don't know which team to root for, because it's just answering back and forth from both teams, really putting a lot of pressure on both me and you guys to decide. And well, hopefully we see who we want to come through and play tomorrow's match. once again, that vigil coming out from OG on Dr. Dropshot, just really tearing apart ATK's attack in the previous round. Not really by kills, but just wasting time and just putting pressure on those drones. When you're playing against a vigil and his scanner is just up constantly, and then you're trying to drone, you don't know his full location, you have to then go and drone it again. You have to try and find those positions of those players so that you are not under pressure or just get picked off by an angle that you're unaware of. So for that is the amount of impact that this vigil is putting on ATK. Same with that mute. That mute is just delaying both Warder now and just delaying time on those drones where he does choose to place it. So for now, we have to see if ATK will use those, well, just take away from those disadvantages and maybe try and bring their attack into this round, and for OG just waste the time and try and bring themselves back into this matchup.
Yeah, the vigil, as we can see here, being put into play, denies the Pancake and the rest of his drone squad the information they need before they can push right into that cache room. And like we've just discussed, him denying the information is great, but then when he's able to shoot drones, as we see him do it right now, that's even better for him. So he's just eliminating the information game for ATK, who are now down to 6 drones. 2 of them are in play, 4 in the pocket. And this is going to continue to be a pain as he goes back to the top of Dragon Stairs, which means, like we said, and we witnessed it, ATK have to drone it again, because now they're not entirely sure where he is. But now they have established that at least this part of the Dragon Stairs is being contested, whereas the rest of Cash is clear. So now they move in. AML is the spearhead of this attack. He's been doing great on the Ash. We can see whether he'll get a kill here to start things off for round number 9, or whether he will be the one to fall, as has been the trend whenever he's the one getting the initial kill or being the first one killed. Figure is the first one to take damage from the MPX of Sandals, and he is put on about 55 HP. It looks like the entirety of ATK's attack is hinging on getting control of Cash and then pushing into sight, but Sandals with a C4 gets Pancake running away from the exothermic charge. He was between a rock and a hard place, and now the diffuser has been dropped, and now the clock continues to drop as they're trying to find their way into this initiation and office bomb site. Gunfights coming out, and Figure is the one to lead things off for his team as he eliminates Ergo. Dr. Dropshot on 25 HP falls back. The pressure is mounting.
Now Amo trying to contest here as he is getting the pings, but Figure does get down as Dropshot picks him off eventually, and now a 4 versus 3 situation. 2 players on ATK are low on HP as one does get picked off. That's Sandals to get the pick on James. He is off of the board. It's all up to AML and Causa, the last 2 remaining players on ATK, to try and clutch at this round. These angles just going to be watched by OG as Causa just trying to rotate up Dragon Stairs. He does get picked off and get finished off by Sandals, and Dropshot getting the final pick there onto AML, just terrorizing ATK on their attack and just really making works of that arsenal from their side. I believe it was Dropshot and Sandals to get the 5 kills in that round. So the 2 fraggers from OG really just stepping up and just trying to keep their team in this game. Just really well played from them and really good defense coming out from their side.
Justin, like you said, that was a very good round for Dr. Dropshot and for Sandals. The roam game from them was humongous. We were talking about how the Vigil denies the intel from the attackers, and I think we just saw that being played out to absolute perfection as they were not aware of his positioning. He, on the other hand, was finding their heads and he was clicking them. Eventually, the man advantage was so great that even though you have Corsa, even though you have I believe it was AML on the Arch was still left alive. Those are 2 great players who have massive clutch potential. There is no denying that. But when there are cross angles being held so tightly as OG was, about a snowball's chance in hell that you're going to walk away from that one as the attackers with the success. And it really started off with that C4 kill from Sandals onto Sir Pancake, who had attempted to get the wall open, which he did like a great thermite. He got the wall open, but it cost him his life and eventually his team the round. Now we go to Bunk, and now we'll remind you, ladies and gentlemen, this started off with ATK being in the lead, 4-0 up. From there, OG have been fighting tooth and nail, and they're not going down easy. They're one round away from equalizing. On the other hand, ATK are one round away from match point.
It's looking very interesting, needless to say, from this match. I'm just on edge here, waiting to see who will take this next step into trying to win out this game. Just going aside, I was interrupted earlier, but speaking of grand finals, we do still have the giveaway going on for the grand finals. If you predict who's going to win the grand finals, I believe it is still on until before the grand finals start. After that, it will be closed, but you guys can still guess and get a chance to win a t-shirt and a mouse pad. They are really two good products, so you guys want to get your hands on that, so go and let us know on the Twitter page. That is World League ESP on Twitter, and let us know who you think is going to win tomorrow's matchup.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Well, tomorrow is in the future, and in the present, AML is the one who has fallen. He's the man I've been having my eye on, excuse me, and every time it's either he gets the opening kill or he is the opening kill. So for now, he's gone. He's not going to be influencing the round except through communication and through watching drones. He still had 2 in his pocket, which he wasn't able to utilize. So that's not very good for the information game on the side of ATK as they set themselves up to attack Bank Daycare. Not entirely sure where the attack is coming from, but I think it's from this cash side of the map as they attempted the last round when they were attacking initiation. And Office, Dr. Dropshot will be the first piece of the resistance they meet as he's looking through these bullet holes here in the office, which has been barricaded off, reinforced ADSs and so on. Such a heavy utility investment. They do not want anyone coming from the eastern side of the map.
Indeed, this is so much setup here, but there is no adaptation from ATK to try and rotate to a different part of the map as Corza gets his very first pick on this rehost side, and for the round as he does pick off Ergo, that is the mute off of the board. Now it's all up to the 4 remaining players on OG to try and stick this one out as there's 40 seconds left on the board, and all 4 players of ATK are here in initiation as Sandals gets a pick from the drone hole. That is Figure off of the board. He was low on HP, but now these 3 remaining attackers really just in a predicament. Yeah, they are stuck in this area. They can't really push into side. 25 seconds as here comes a late reinforcement onto the rotate from drop shot, so not allowing any of the players to try and rotate from that area. Pancake is now trying to open up this wall with this exothermic charge as the C4 does go swinging out. It does not do too much damage, but he is low on HP as he does eventually get picked off there by Sandals, and Sandals on a roll at the moment. He gets 2 for himself, has a 4K for this round. Will he ace to try and get his team? No, he won't. As Corza picks him off, and then Kaiko swings wide and gets the final pick for his team and evens out the matchup to a 5-5. We now see that even matchup once again. Whoever gets this very first step to take it to match point is the one that is going to try and keep that for as long as possible. Or will we see this overtime coming out for this very last matchup, take it to the very last moment of overtime? We'll have to wait and see, but at the moment OG have that momentum going, and ATK really need to try and fix what they're doing wrong. Their attacks at the moment are looking very dire. They're not knowing exactly what they want to do because that Vigil and just OG in general are terrorizing their attacks. We do see a 6-pick coming out here from that Jackal onto the Blitz from Figure, so maybe we see a bit of a rush or just a more aggression coming from ATK. We'll have to see how that plays out, but so far for OG, really well done to even out that scoreline from being in such a bad deficit from the very beginning.
Sandals, man. Sandals, he's already on 7 kills after that rehost. Not forgetting the ace that he had on round number 6 and the almost ace he had on that previous round. He was on a 4K. If he would have had another ace, I would have been screaming my lungs off to the detriment of everyone's ears. But thankfully that did not happen. For OG, thankfully they did win it and they did bring it to 5-5. They have fought so difficult. They have fought so diligently. Climb up the mountain like Sisyphus, pushing the boulder all the way to the top, and now we're yet to see if the gods will revert that boulder all the way back to the bottom. Whether ATK will be going to match point and then securing it here and now. or whether the myth will be broken and we will see Omnius Gaming coming all the way from the back foot from map number 1 and then winning it. And right now they look like they want to win it so much that Dr. Dropshot is going on this extended roam. He's peeking outside, he's aggressive. He almost went on a run out on a spawn pick, takes some damage off of Figure, and then he falls back. He's just wrecking havoc on the drone game from ATK.
This Blitz now pushing aggressively into this red hallway, but he is being contested from multiple angles. His drop shot now does choose to rotate all the way back to that yellow stairs side. He's trying to go and support his teammates from below. There is actually no, he rotated into Gong and threw an impact to put some pressure there. As now Sandals actually now rotated into Gong to try and put pressure from below with that C4. He does spot out a player. Will he get the C4 kill? No, he won't. He does do some damage, but he ends up pushing away with his life. And now this Blitz just contesting here in this waiting room hallway. Drop shot just trying to put some shots onto him, but not connecting anything in the end. He does decide to fall off now, and he's just wasting time as there is a minute 30 left on the clock. Figure now trying to still get control of these areas, to try and support his team, to try and get control of that maintenance area. Sandals is still playing here, so he will put a lot of pressure, but now we do see a contest coming through. He is pinched from multiple angles. Will he be able to escape as the Blitz just coming through, and he does get picked off, but AML does get down from that trade. James gets the kill onto Sandals. I believe he was down from his teammate, but 2 players on ATK are down, so if the C4 does come swinging out or an impact, it will be able to put pressure on them. It does do some damage, but to the wrong player. That is Causer that loses some HP, and he is able to pick up both of his teammates.
That is indeed what has happened. The 2 downed players have been brought back, but they are just on the verge of death as they're on 1 bullet away from dying. This impact could be the end of them as they try to get the way into this maintenance wall. Dr. Dropshot yet again adding to his great number of kills this round. He has found another, and ATK actually respond back, and it's a 2v4. Now, for once, it's in the favor of ATK. 30 seconds are left, but if Dr. Dropshot has anything to say about it, he's gonna go down fighting. He gets another kill. It's a triple for him. He's not been killed just yet, even as he's blinded by the Blitz, and in that madness, Ergo walks away with 2 kills, which are enough for his team to win the round, and that's 6-5. That is match point for OG.
At the moment, just in chat, every single round after OG has won, they are just good nighting James. Just a bit of banter going out there. Looks more like they're just trying to get into his head in the mental game. We did see the banter from these 2 teams from the very beginning. I will call it banter because in the end, we don't like toxicity, and I hope nobody is toxic in chat, so we just call that banter. But for OG side, they're on match point. They are choosing to go back to initiation, and we do see a 6 pick from that mirror onto the Valkyrie. So their similar lineup that they did have the previous time, but for ATK, they really have to now change up something. Figure got a bit desperate in that round, picking out that Bliss to try and put pressure. He did put a lot of pressure, but he just chased the attackers or the defenders away. He did not capitalize on it. His teammates weren't able to capitalize it. ATK did bring the advantage into their favor, bring it into a 4v2 situation, but then Dropshot just answered back and got so many picks for himself, and then Ergo just supporting him while he was flashed, getting 2, 1 from Split, and then the Blitz that pushed into Dragon Door unaware of his location. So in the end, really well played there from OG, but for ATK, it has looked like they're just desperate at the moment. They really are struggling. They want to bring this back, but at the moment it is looking dire for them. They have to win this next round if they want to take it to overtime and try and keep themselves in this game, but at the moment it's looking really strong for OG to win this one out.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and
Yeah, it's such a great storyline for OG to have fought so tough, so hard, and come all this way, taking us to match point. They have somehow been able to win 4 rounds in a row where ATK has just not found the answer. And that last round, when ATK were the man advantage 4-2, I really thought they were gonna win, and the man advantage right now swings into the favor of Omnius Gaming before it's immediately traded back by AML, catching Sandals on that anxious run out. He was feeling a bit too confident after getting Kosa downed, and then he eventually finished him off. But AML is there, and he has something to say about it. And that is good night, Sandals, as match point is where the desperation from these 2 teams will start to show itself. As ATK, they have just been on that 5-round count for so long, unable to bring it to match point. Now Omnius Gaming themselves are on match point. They are fighting tooth and nail, and Dr. Dropshot is going to be the man to watch. His last round, he was everywhere on the map, killing people left, right, and center. The killing, though, for ATK will start with Figure getting Ergo off the board. That's one less C4 they have to worry about, as half the round of this match point, of this series point, has dwindled away.
Cannibal losing some HP there from Figure as well, but he does choose to push back. Same with Dropshot. Now he's trying to rotate into Initiation to try and contest these plays. He is prone on the floor, gets up there, but unable to contest to this Ash. He does lose a lot of HP, does deal some HP back, but now he's going to get pinched from at least 3 players. The plant is being attempted here by ATK as Dropshot gets the first pick. That's AML off of the board now. 3v3 situation. The plant has to be attempted. No, it's get taken off as Pancake is trying to help support his teammates. Figure just putting epic cover there for him as Dropshot now gets the refrag there, but it's a 2 versus 2 situation as Cannibal picks off or Pancake eventually. Now it's all up to James in this 1 versus 2 situation. He does have the diffuser planted to try and support him. The smoke canister will come through, but the prone angle coming through from Dropshot and the swing from the shotgun, he gets both players! And that is a TK from Dropshot, just killing his down teammate as James gets the final pick and takes it to overtime. And now ATK are back in the game. It is all up to these next 3 rounds to see who will face against Bravado Gaming tomorrow in the grand finals. At the moment, it is just so close between these 2 teams. Just ATK really trying to bring it back, and they did. And now it's all up to who can get this next first round. Who can bring this just stability into their gameplay to try and keep themselves mentally focused to win this one out. At Olympus at the moment, I am so shocked about how this game turned out, because it's just been out of my expectations. I did not expect this outcome. We wished for this outcome, but I really did not expect it from both teams to bring it all this way to the very end.
I'm right there with you, Justin, as I am holding my breath. My heart is racing and it is beating out of my chest right now, as I'm sure James' heart is on such a high BPM, because that last round could have very well gone into the favor of Omnius Gaming. They were in such a good position there, but it was a post-plant situation, and James being situated where he was in that control room, he just had the upper hand there, as they did try, the defenders did try to get him, as in such a situation you don't pick one by one, but at that point there really wasn't any other angle they could have attempted to attack him from. They did try to split it, one on the ground and then another standing still, but yeah, the team kill there didn't quite help the situation. And right now we are in overtime, Justin. We are going the full 9 yards, and I'm pretty sure we are going all the way to round number 15, because if history has anything to say about these 2 teams, is that the equalizer game is going to be the deciding factor, excuse me. But Sandals decides to jump out right now. He gets an early lead onto AML and then immediately traded by Figure, and that's just exactly how that last round went. Trading an Ash for a Valkyrie. Who do you favor right now, Justin?
At the moment, I don't know who to favor. The favors of ATK, they're on the attacking half. However, as the defenders on OG do have the advantage, but HP-wise, ATK do have that advantage just by a little margin off of Kaiko there. But Sandals throwing out that Valkyrie cam every single round to help him jump out through that window. He gets a pick, he gets refrag every single time that it happened. It happened 2 to 3 times now, and it hasn't gone in favor, but there's a C4 coming out from Urga. He pre-placed it to try and maybe get a player trying to put a breach charge down onto that hatch, but that won't be the case, as it does not do any damage to any attackers whatsoever. But now we do see Corza here on these dragon stairs. I do believe he's taken it very aggressively up there, taken control of it, and now his teammates are going to try and support him to get control of this cache area and, well, bring the favor into ATK.
We're yet to see that in the next minute and 17 seconds. Dr. Dropshot again, the first line of defense for Omnius Gaming, as from the western side of the map, ATK attempts to collapse onto the site which is bunk and daycare. And now that we're in overtime, Omnius Gaming gets 2 chances to defend. And given that ATK have been suffering on their attacks, I feel like it's going to go into the favor of OG. We're yet to see exactly how this execute phase starts to happen. Kosa has rotated all the way to the bottom of that main lobby, and now he's at arcade stairs trying to get another angle onto these defenders who are watching the angles from throne room and from initiation, as the western side of the map is where all the action happens. The action now is Sir Pancake and Figure dropping Ergo and Kaigo, and then Dr. Dropshot is gone. Kosa is there situated on the top of those stairs, and Cannibal is the last man left alive. Again, it's a clutch situation, but Sir Pancake, another kill in his notch for the round, takes things to round number 14, where now they will be defending.
This is getting closer and closer to the end of this matchup. OG now going to attack and ATK going to defense. If we know Theme Park, it is a defender-sided map. We have seen from ATK's defense and OG's defense, both teams winning 4 rounds in a row on their defensive side. So at the moment, it's looking really both one-sided for both teams, because 2 rounds for both halves of both teams, it was 4-2, 4-2. So now at the moment, ATK getting the first round, they are going on to defense, so they are in the advantageous area. They are choosing to go to Armory, which was their best site. They did really perform well on Armory,
Defenders
which
protect the
they
bombs
didn't
and defused
actually
by
lose
attackers.
Armory once. They won it both times that they played it. So now at the moment for OG, they didn't win a single Armory and Throne attack. So for them, now they have to really try and fix the mistakes they made in the previous round to try and adapt and bring themselves back into this game. And the first issue is their drones. They've just lost 2 drones from the side of ATK, or from the side of OG. ATK have destroyed 2 of their drones. And that Mozzie, once again, being in play from AML, going to put so much pressure on their drone game once again. So at the moment, drone-wise, it's not looking the best for OG, but hopefully that aggression that we know from them can really just play off onto this round and bring themselves to this next round. And then we see the final round 15 of this matchup in OT. Olympus, I'm very excited and I can't wait to see what happens.
Excited doesn't even begin to describe the emotions that I'm experiencing right now. And yes, the drone game from Omnius Gaming isn't the best, as right now they have just 8 left. But look again at the top left, and that utility from them is just massive. Given the fact that ATK do not have our mine, neither do they have a Jaeger, they're going to be suffering with those grenades and those flashbangs that singing and flying on through the air. Right now, as we go into this, what could potentially be the last round, as ATK are just 1 round away from closing this best of 3 right here, right now. As they are the defenders, they are in the advantage. We'll see whether OG has something to say against that. And given that AML and Sandals haven't died in trading each other out, this is a slow round, which is a deviation from the other previous ones.
Indeed it is, but it's a different round coming out from OG. Their attack, they have not chosen to take from that control room and cash, but needless from that cafeteria arcade area. Now they've pushed all the way to cash and initiation and control side. So needless to say, that attack really did work for them. It was a very swift and quick attack, as they do now have full top floor control with 1:30 left in the clock. They are starting to do this vertical, but we do see Causa still playing in that gong area, and that Jackal Inox scan just coming through once again to give the locations of these defenders inside. They do know the location of one, and Causa gets the opening pick. That Sandals off of the board. That's the Ash of this round, but he will be contested now from drop shot as he is pushing into this maintenance area. Will he be able to spot him out? As Cannibal gets picked off by James. That's 2 picks for ATK. It's a 3 versus 5 situation now, as Ergo loses a lot of HP now as well, but he dies as well, as James gets the first pick, and Kaiko answers back as he picks off Figure. And whoa, there we go. It's the end of the game, as AML and Causa get the final 2 picks for the team and just win out the matchup for ATK, bring it to the very overtime, not the very last round of overtime, however, but an 8-6 victory for ATK. to win out this matchup against OG. We saw it's such a close game between the two teams, and now we do see a rematch between Bravado and ATK tomorrow at 5 p.m. in the grand finals between those two teams. Olympus, this was such an amazing matchup between these two teams, and I can't comprehend what has just happened between them.
Well, I'll tell you exactly what happened. We started off on Cafe, which was ATK's pick. They won that 7-5. And then we moved over to Clubhouse, which was OG's pick, and they won that 7-4. And then we came to Theme Park, where it has been all sorts of things. We've seen highlights, we've seen lowlights, we have seen wins and losses, and we have seen so many match points. But in the end, it's ATK to take that win. Like I said, in overtime, they had the defense, and given that they had won the attack, they were kind of favored there, as they have shown us. It kind of collapsed rather quickly. I was expecting it to go into the last dying seconds of that round, but the kills just started coming and they didn't stop. It was a flurry, Corsa leading the way for his team there, and then a collapse onto the last remaining attackers of OG. And my goodness, what a match it has been. I'm sure all the hearts for all the players are racing right now, especially for ATK. They started this map so well. They started with a 4-0 lead. And then from there, OG were able to bring back so many rounds, eventually equalizing at 5-5 and then taking us to overtime. We could not have asked for a closer matchup, ladies and gentlemen. And that's going to be it from me, unless, Justin, you have something else to say. We'll be seeing you tomorrow at 5 p.m. for the grand finals.
I was just gonna say, just trying to remind everybody about the grand finals tomorrow at 5 p.m. But as well, remember to enter into the giveaway on World League ESP. That is the Twitter handle of the World League Esports tournament organization that we are currently in. The 10K WLE 10K will proceed once again tomorrow in the very last match of this tournament. It is going to be such a good matchup. Bravado obviously having the map advantage, as they did beat ATK on Friday, so going to the grand finals in the first spot, and now ATK winning out this matchup in a 2-1 fashion, take it all the way to overtime. Now going to play against Bravado once again tomorrow in the grand finals. Also, just stay tuned for that, because you guys really don't want to miss out on that matchup. It is going to be such an amazing match to watch as well. Just remember to to say who you want to win the grand finals, or who do you think is going to win the grand finals tomorrow. And if you guess correctly, you will be entered into a giveaway where you will stand the chance to win a t-shirt and a mouse pad. So you guys don't want to miss out on those two opportunities.
All right, then we will be seeing you when we see ATK going against Bravado yet again. Bravado will be going into that best of 5 with a 1 map advantage, and ATK, knowing that they're coming in with that handicap, will be fighting for their lives, as we have seen them tonight. And for sure, like Justin said, you do not want to miss that nail biter of a match. We'll be seeing you then. Thank you so much. Good night, everyone, and have a good one.
Good night, everyone. Goodbye.
And you may have some history, but we don't have to repeat it. You made this mess and left me with the pieces.